From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
We started off the day with some sunshine, but we've now transitioned into kind of drizzly conditions over the last hour here in the Tulsa Metro. Still very warm, though. Take a look from Gathering Place. Raindrops on the camera lens there. Downtown Tulsa's got the same thing. 70 degrees. Dew point in the low 60s. And for January, early January, those are some very high dew points. This is very much a April, even early May type feeling today, and that includes, like I said, the threat, the setup that we could have some strong to severe storms later on today with some instability in place, wind shear with the developing storm system, and some upper level dynamics as well. I'm going to kind of zoom you all over the state here for the next minute or two, so just bear with me. But I want to show you the statewide view first because, boy, this tells the story. Area of low pressure developing in far northwestern Oklahoma. A Pacific cold front out ahead of us. This isn't an Arctic cold front because of the region it's coming from, but some cold air behind that. Warm front lifting north into Kansas, so warm, humid air streaming north. So outside of northwestern Oklahoma, where it's a different season today, it is spring for the rest of us. And of course, where we've seen sunshine, we've already hit the mid-70s in spots. Now, radar right now, developing areas of showers across the Tulsa Metro and eastern Oklahoma. Nothing all that significant here as far as, developing severe weather potential. Just kind of the initial band of moisture moving in. Additional showers pushing out of south central Oklahoma into portions of Hughes and Pittsburgh County over the next hour or so. Already some thunderstorms flaring up pretty quick, though, across Latimer and LaFleur counties. These are not severe. And again, initially released the next hour or two, this activity is on kind of the lower end of the scale as far as strong to severe weather potential. Could be some hail cores developing with some of this and some thunder and lightning as well around Tallahena, Heavener, Big Cedar, headed up towards Poto. But as we head further into the afternoon and especially early evening, that's when kind of all the ingredients line up a little bit better for storms to get a little more intense. We've been watching anywhere we have sun breaks because, of course, on a day like today with this warm, humid setup, obviously the more sun we have, the more the temperatures can climb, the more the instability can climb. Generally, anywhere in eastern Oklahoma could see an isolated strong to severe storm today. We'll have some development north and west of Tulsa this afternoon through early evening, and then kind of a couple rounds of development through the afternoon and evening across southeastern Oklahoma, where you see that orange shading. That's where the overall threat is a little bit higher, and that's where the tornado threat is going to be a little bit higher. When we break this down just from a tornado standpoint, as far as rotating storms go, generally the further north and west, that risk for rotating storms is a little lower, but not zero. And the further south and east you head, around near and south of I-40 specifically, is where storms more than likely have a better chance to rotate. It could produce some tornado warnings this afternoon. Wind and hail, as usual, are the highest threats, especially damaging wind gusts. But once again, that tornado threat is notable across especially southeastern Oklahoma. So if you're making plans for the rest of the day, you got to make sure you're staying weather aware as you're traveling about through the afternoon or the evening. Highs today, lower 70s, some spots south and east in the mid-70s where there are some more sun breaks. Now let's walk you through future view, future radar, hour by hour here. So already some isolated showers and storms developing. And I think we could see a couple storms pop up in northeastern Oklahoma soon as well. So I'd say now between 1 and 2 o'clock, could be 1 or 2 stronger storms, but the severe weather threat just initially is a little bit lower. But then late afternoon, as storms continue to redevelop, this is when the severe weather threat increases a little bit more. Now notice it's not 100% coverage of storms, not really kind of a squall line setup. So some spots will kind of be in and out of the storm activity today. But where these do develop, they could have some locally heavy rain, hail, wind, and even an isolated tornado threat, especially through the evening across our eastern counties. There is the chance that we might see kind of one last round of development between about 8 to 10 p.m. tonight as that front moves in. That's what probably have a lower severe weather threat. But then after about 10 to 11 o'clock tonight, if not before then, the system moves out and we cool off. So tomorrow morning will be at least cooler than this morning. Tomorrow afternoon, still closer, maybe just slightly above normal technically, but we're not talking spring weather on Tuesday, and that will kind of start the slow downward trend into more normal early January temperatures for mid to late week. So after today, we dry out, we cool down, again, cooler temperatures through the rest of the work week. But once again, this afternoon, this evening, if you're going to be out and about, stay weather aware, storms developing, and some likely to be severe later in the day into the evening.